Let's see. Far too easy to get them to pay attention. Rapture. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we are honest, and a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Kinda right!
Or
Talagang boss eh.
ano, parang lasing na agad siya.
Oo ah.
Passive mates. Passive.
Sige.
And so for the viewers, kung gusto nyo basahin, pause nyo na lang. Basa na namin to. So
Yes.
there's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I'm only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Wait lang. Try ko lang ano. Takasan ko lang na onti yung aking volume.
Okay.
Hopefully okay na to. Yep. I think this is good enough. Yeah, perfect.
Perfection.
Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. Don't even recall his first name. Started with an N, I think.
Negro. Ay, sorry.
Hmm?
Ano ko.
Ay,
burp.
Hindi ko naman narinig. Pero wala na. Alam na nila. Ay, burp.
Sorry.
Hindi naman siya narinig. Alam na nila. You have been compromised. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxburn Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee, née Vance, owns a general electronics company, fridges and freezers.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with ya.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here.
Manyako.
Ano yun?
Mga manyako.
Knuckles. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. My own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor.
Wait lang, I'm curious. Hindi pala siya. Not as long. It's decent. It's a decent.
Yes.
Gago parang
Parang
mas
mas
mahaba pa yung kay ano? Isabela.
Oo, mas mahaba yung kay Isabela.
Oo, kasi yun yung red maikli.
Oo nga.
Okay.
The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with her doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He's a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind it too. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. But he regaled to me tales of the Luxburn Police Department, different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and, though I loathe to admit, is interesting less. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my! You made him chase you all the way home for a prank! What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. That's the way to live.
Option.
Dapat ano pare, isip bata.
Tama.
Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
The wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. That something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's
The Ermagood Mansion?
the Ermagood.
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course! It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Rich people problems. Maliit ba yan?
Oo nga.
Ito nga lang.
Story
dun sa-
penthouse.
Oo. Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people,
Ay, na ganun kakayaman no? Impulse buy mo mansion.
Oo nga. Ganun sila kayaman. Okay, maybe a lot of people, but it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Anniversary gift yan. Mansion.
Mansion.
Gago. Yaman eh.
Tapos yung anniversary gift din sa kanya ng isang mansion din na.
Ayun. Eh di yan. Dalawa na mansion nila.
Dalawa na mansion nila.
Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? October 21. Today. German Butler.
Ed Sheeran.
Oo nga, so Sheeran nga. Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place.
You...
Oh.
Mas mukha siyang bata dito, gag.
Oo.
I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hannah. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Sure. Inumainom na siya pa. Certainly, any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Why must he treat me this way? So,
Oh, a choice, a choice. Mabadtripin ba natin si ano?
bad tripin natin siya pare.
Depende.
Hindi, sa pagkakalam ko, this ups the relationship with him. Defend myself.
Yes, I am very happy,
Oh.
Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want.
That ups the thing. But if we remain silent, it goes down.
Oh. Weird.
So that's the pattern here. Hindi natin siya papalagan pare.
Okay. Sige.
I am happy. And I'm sure he will be too once he gets over this little upset. There's no point in aggravating him anymore, so I keep myself from commenting on the issue any further. Sweet smile and a bowed head, no need to provoke. That is how I hope.
So, when do we leave? Where are we even going?
We're scheduled to leave after lunch for the Ermengarde Mansion? Das ist ja interessant. It's just Deutsch name. Is that infamous mansion? Yeah? I have seen it from afar. It's a huge property. Very beautiful if it wasn't left abandoned. Certainly a house befitting lords and ladies of the land.
A house good enough for nobles, huh? It is well known then? I guess that doesn't make it a total waste of time.
Our old sous chef mentioned going there for Halloween last year. We've not seen him since.
He died, bro. He died.
He
He died.
He did.
Not that I mind. He made terrible pumpkin soup.
I smile even as they turn their backs to me. The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of
BRB bro.
okay. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxborn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale, then she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me, is Isabel alright?
It is apparent with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I'm worried, but it will be best if she is attended to by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There's an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she's not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it! Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly! Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup. Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
I am making her job easier for her, am I not? No need for loans or long price negotiations. You can just sign a contract and close the deal. Really, you'd think the woman will be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate agents work, how long they had to wait, and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if he has to split it with the Isabel girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
Helicopter pad.
I pause. And there's a small moment of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredulously at Luke. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. With our social standing, where image matters, it is also important to avoid making enemies. And to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there's nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and at the same time, of safety and comfort. Perhaps we can even have our family here. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Okay. Well, except for this ugly painting, the study. It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she heals herself and masks her word. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
A hush falls upon the room at my request,
What painting?
and lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Or perhaps, maybe I should. Up my
But
schedule for the
I
best
guess we can
will.
free up a day to meet with you.
Nice.
I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely, the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather the Right Mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
All right, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
What's new?
That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh, that time of the year already?
We forgot about it last year too. I understand that he's a busy man, but
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eyes can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even then, they managed to pull me out of the water. There was always sand castles. The day before we married, I told Luke that I wanted a house on a beach and dog, and a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight. We spend the rest of the ride home in silence. Miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at the 3 in the morning, I picture my paint right now is hardly glamorous. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner. And I hate the acrid stench that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I can feel another wave of nausea come up on me when the door opened.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. The last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months to frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time. Sure, they still know of me and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time, but I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans. Teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and old conquests like Jack.
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting. I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair even as I cough up more fish. He wipes the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
Starts chuckling and soon enough is in a fit of laughter. This scene happening next to a loo filled with stick just makes the whole thing bizarre, and it nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forget whatever ill feelings plagued me. We are just husband and wife laughing together at a funny face, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are to come for us, I would have wished with everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. October 26th, the Wednesday.
Hiya! Come on now!
Happy anniversary. The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma. No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
I can see the exasperation, and I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johannes rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johannes and I have gotten used to it. Poor Marianne, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess. Quickly before going back to everything is just to be perfect, exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let Johannes and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
Taking him by the hand, I lead him upstairs into our bedroom. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I'm definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depended on getting this move done is tiring all on its own. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hannah. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
We laugh. Not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sorts of things. We joke around as if we're teenagers again, with very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late. I can only see it as signs of good things to come.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. I didn't say that I am a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hannah. We've talked about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
What should I say? A weird thing happening. We're in the negative relationship, but things are going good. Things are going too good. Apologize for bringing it up. It'll be a great time.
Kylie likes you well enough.
Dimension for little goddaughter plays a completely becomes space. Oh, you know what? Let's panindigan natin yung choice. Yeah. Babaan natin yung relationship. We're really in the negative now. I feel guilty, uneasy even, about bringing this topic up. This isn't the first time I've brought it out there, considering we've been married for 7 years. But I should have learned my lesson. Talking about it has always gotten me disapproval. After all, this is one of the surefire ways to get Luke into a terrible mood.
I'm sorry. But I do think you...
Don't finish that sentence, Hana. Just don't. We know how this discussion ends. Let's not fight over what ifs and if onlys.
But what if we are going to have a family, Luke? What then?
I just told you. No what ifs.
We won't talk about it until you're ready.
Let's not talk about it then. Ever.
The silence that follows is stifling. I avert my gaze from him, favoring the view of our four-poster bed, overseeing his embittered expression. Just thinking of how insensitive I am for bringing it up makes me feel sick to my stomach. We stay still, neither of us dare make the first move to leave, until a crash from downstairs cuts through the tension.
Oh, bloody hell, what is it now? I can't get away for 10 minutes without someone mucking something up! That better not be what I think it is! I know it's only an 8 million yen vase, but I swear, I
don't stop him as he storms off, and he doesn't even bother to look my way. Yet I can still feel his eyes boring into me. Alone, as per usual, I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me just lying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I have rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point, with my face buried into the pillows when there's a knock at the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as a voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time, and allowed the photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications, and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
And let's check. Oh, kids.
Uy, dalawang bata.
Tapos mo na yung thingy mo.
Oo, uy, ang tagal yun, nakakaburat eh.
Anyway, something weird happened, right? Di ba na, we're in the negatives, the relationship with. Pero after nung open house, a good thing happened between them. So hindi sila, di ba sa run mo, nag-away sila?
Oo.
Dito, a good thing happened, bro. What the fuck?
What happened?
Basta sumusuka sa toilet si Hana. Tapos pinuntahan siya ni Luke para i-comfort siya. And, some jokes were said and nagtawanan sila. And, we're here. So, basically, it's a good thing happened. Pati yung ride back home, di ba sa run mo, hindi sila nagpansinan. Dito nagpansinan sila. They're in good terms.
What?
For some reason. Di ko nga alam kung what is happening. But we're in the negatives.
Baka What?
Hindi ko nga alam. Was it the 22nd? Ito. See? Hannah pressured the state and you felt. Then, during the ride home, Hannah revealed that the mansion is her anniversary gift for Luke. Things seemed to be looking good until Hannah suddenly fell ill later that night. Then, diba? So, a good thing happened. But anyway, we will still continue with the negative pa rin natin to and see what happens. Papanindigan natin yung choice natin.
Okay.
Your Highness, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
Hansi. The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start and I can already see the flower patches. Luke's favorite daffodils stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Sayang pala kanina, di mo naabutan yung jump scare. Yung painting sa study.
Yung painting, gago.
Jump scare, double jump scare. Anyway, why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscaper on his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. It is in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight, seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
The one and only. Welcome to Maison de Right.
Maison de Right. What the fuck is
Nasa
wrong with
Urban
your
Garden.
fingers? Alam mo yung fingers nyo, parang hikli. What?
Sausage, pare, sausage.
What's wrong with your fingers?
And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah! If I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Monsieur le photographe. Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with a camera and experience in this industry at the very least. He's kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well whenever we cross paths with them. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he had procured several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with peppermills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains, brought in for a kitchen setting.
Ano yung pepper mills?
Yung pepper mills. Alam mo yung iniikot-ikot na yung pepper shaker, yun. Yung tawag natin madalas yung iniikot, yung pang grinder ng pepper. Yan, pepper mills.
Pepper mills. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, too numerous to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights? Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. The ballroom needs a little preparation with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy, considering how Johans kept the place so neat and sterile. One can practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with exception to the rooms which have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of the camera. He even goes as far to talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds, aperture, when I ask about the technical aspect. Can't quite see the picture as it is made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for the both of us. That looked weird. Despite that, he has been so nice and I find myself putting on my best smile.
Anong weird? What's weird?
Parang kanina may wavy thing. But anyway,
Meron nga. Dapat na ano ko dun.
So it's really part of the thing.
Yeah.
But it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And had I not been paying attention, I wouldn't have even noticed. It's merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
Zachary? No response.
Zach, is something the matter?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops. And everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. Must be the wind.
Guni-guni mo lang yan, pare. Guni-guni lang nila yan, pare.
Gawa ng mga devils.
Propaganda.
I'm fine. And he said he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there is an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films, documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spells it all out. Blue Fonzie. Okay. Bleu la place sombre. Sombre de noir Britanniques. I murdered that. I butchered
Massacre, pare. Massacre.
that. French. Ikaw nga. Sample nga. Paano ba magano? Paano ba sabihin yan?
I cannot. French words.
I'm a French. Isa pa. Blue Fonzie, Blue la place sombre. Ano ba? Sombre? Sombre? Parang ano yun? Parang pag sa...
Parang som.
Oh, pag sa French, di ba parang silent yung art. Parang som.
Yung R.
lang. Parang ito yung LH. It's basically Lu. Parang yun. Lu. La place.
Le.
Hindi ko lang kung ito plus or...
Le la place.
Le la place. Som.
Le la place.
Pero ito, alam ko, Denois
Denois.
Britanniques. Diba? Denois Britanniques. So, I'm not really sure dito sa Laplace.
Bakit na kasi ng mga friendship, ba't pa kayo naglalagay ng mga letters kung hindi nyo rin na mababanggitin?
Omelette du fromage.
At ngayon.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Omelette du.
Pero yun nga.
Ayun again, Dexter.
Denois Britanniques. Okay. Anyway, dark blue,
English.
the darkest hours of the Black British. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There is conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he is an amazing speaker if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. Folk of blacks and people of color in general still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of the color of their skin. It's all just positively riveting and sad. Comes to a point wherein he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Puta. Riz, pare. Riz.
Riz God. Riz Goddess. Riz Queen.
Riz Queen.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
I want to say that I understand where he's coming from. But I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I've lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would he still have loved me if I was any lesser?
What was your home like? These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards, and the stolen item is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose?
Just nice.
Nice?
Nice.
Just
It's a fucking
nice?
mansion. Just nice.
Not big enough?
Pare. Rich people problems.
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little fuck. I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really.
Now there's something in it.
Yes. A ghost.
Ghost. A vengeful ghost.
A vengeful spirit.
Yes. You have your wish.
It makes you
Hinahag
think
ka nga kanina.
how alone you are.
Talig nga lang.
A pensive mood overcomes us, and there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one, just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. Ang weird niya, no? Just as large and extravagant. Yun daw yung parang ano niya, di ba? Kino-compare sa childhood house niya. Pero earlier in the chapter, nagre-reklamo siya na naliliitan siya sa penthouse nila. And there are people. Di ba?
I mean, ang sinasabi niya kasi, I think ang sinasabi niya yung childhood house nila.
Hindi, ito naman. Ito nga, sinasabi niya yung childhood house niya is like the mansion. I know. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. just as large and extravagant. Pero, you know, large and extravagant.
Yung
But nagre-reklamo siya na maliit yung penthouse, you know. Anyway.
I think yung penthouse is bahay na nila ni Luke. Hindi na yung childhood house nila. I think.
Hindi nga, magkaiba nga yung penthouse. Pero, my point is, ngayon, nirereklamo niya na
Okay. I get your
yung
point.
childhood
Okay.
house niya na parang daw yung mansion na to. Just as large and extravagant and just as empty. Pero kanina, di ba, nirereklamo niya yung penthouse.
Yung penthouse.
Na daw.
Maliit. I get your point.
But anyway. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion.
The attic.
Ermengarde mansion na ulit. Hindi na ano.
Oo nga,
Ano
hindi na.
yung...
Maison
Monsieur.
Zerite.
Hindi na yun.
What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the
Liar.
things that people should know about.
You did not watch it, liar.
Yeah, liar. You didn't even... You haven't even seen a minute of it. You just
Why you
know
lie?
the synopsis of it.
Why do you lie?
Why do you lie?
What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Oui.
Shite, pare. They're shite.
People are shite.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
Sabay ganon.
Please,
Speed
queen talaga.
from
Please,
people are shite. Biglang, what do you think? Do I look good in this angle? Oh my god. Speed, pare. I am speed.
Riz queen, pare.
Tyler Riz Queen. I strike a pose. I strike a pose while he's being busy, taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle.
Vous êtes belle.
Sabi like
ng-
one of your French girls.
Ano sabihin ng vous êtes belle? Google natin.
Visit
Vous
si
êtes
Belle.
belle. You're beautiful. Yung pala yung sabihin nun. You're beautiful.
Sudoy.
Vous êtes belle. Yeah, I'm learning French. I know how to say you're beautiful in French. Vous êtes belle.
Visit ka. Ay.
Siya ba? Baka isipin ng mga pag may French person man na nanood nito. Isipin nila na we're mocking the language. No, we're not mocking the language. It's just, it's fun to learn things. Yun lang.
You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents.
Hey, femboy.
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 Either way,
Femboy
French
is
is, after all, the language of romance.
No, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry. But I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
Bouillabaisse.
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique. Bouillabaisse. C'est magnifique. It has been
Cancel.
too long. Ano yan?
Cancelled.
Cancelled. Mocking the French. Anyway, we're not mocking the French. It's fun to say, French words. It's not every day we get to say French words, so
All French.
It has been too long since I have had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, B is certainly not a good friend. And although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. Photo shoot went by a breeze, and somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agreed to do his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. Big boy. He should be able to handle me. Oh my gosh.
Things are getting hot.
Sexual innuendo, bro. Sexual tension right there.
Things are getting hot.
All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing. Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least, that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop. I'm not sure if I want to, though. Do you want a good relationship with Zach? Yeah, I think Zach is a good guy.
I think.
So let's stop teasing him.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Oh, big
Big plus, big plus.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I am more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
No.
What?
A big virgin, pare.
Zero riz.
No boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Zero riz.
Not a one.
Virgin. Not one.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Oh, yeah. It's weird, you know. I thought you would stop teasing.
Stop it.
But you're still teasing him. I can't help it. I really, really can't, and I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely, by the catty smile on my face, it's obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I fail to contain certainly gives it away if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objection.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I
never said I would kiss you, silly. Oh, Johans!
No, what? No. Don't call your butler. She's Hannah.
She.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man.
Yung butler, si Johans. Ang tunay na femboy, di ba?
Femboy. Si Ed Sheeran.
I do not think you can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs.
Pare, yung ngayon, di ba? Yung standard sa mga babae ngayon. Cook and take wonderful photographs for the gram.
For the gram, pare.
For the gram.
Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
Pare.
I can play guitar too.
Yo, gitarista pa na. Pag
Gitarista.
hinatawan ng pagbalik intro, wala na. GG.
Easy game.
Hubad panty na yun pag ano. 10 minutes magbalik intro lang.
You can? Oh my, wonderful serenades as well then. Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Pag inoferan ka ng ganito kayaman na hanapangan niya ng chikas, gago bro, you better accept it kasi most likely yung mga circle of friends nito or mga kakilala niya, mayayaman din.
Obviously, automatic yung boy.
Oo, tsaka you can be like certain or 70% sure na chikas yung mahanap niya kasi ewan ko wala pa akong nakitang pangit naman. yung gantong level na yaman gantong level na yaman. Kasi meron naman mayaman na yung, alam mo, they have a big house, 5 cars, pero not a mansion, like on a whim, bibilin mo, di ba? You would pay like 15%.
Si Mami D.
Sino? Hindi. Si Mami D, parang na yun matanda na yun pero di ba? Like, teen. Kasi di ba sabi niya yun, a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young man. So yun. Di ba? Anyway. Saka, kasi yun yung yaman nila Mami D galing from di ba? Kay Manny, kasi fighter si Manny. Di ba? Galing boxing. Ito kasi, it's on the business side of things Di ba? Corporate to kumbaga. Or they're in the corporate world. Anyway. Basta, yun na yun. By the way, disclaimer lang, hindi po kami gold diggers. We're not gold diggers, you know? Pakaisipin nila, mga gold digger to mga pocket kings ka. Hindi po, hindi.
Masyado kami tamad para maghukay. So
we're just pointing out na, if you get offered yung offer like this, you're better off taking it, di ba? Yun lang yung point dun.
Let's not get carried away. Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame.
I
will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Of course. I'll even deliver them personally. Just, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
Oh, the femboy. As fate would have it, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johans comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of his brows, he has heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Danke.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he is quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now.
Sorry. Femboy pa. Femboy na witty pa, bro. Galing.
As I was saying,
right
madam,
there.
it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hana. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
He nods, and the grin on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest that I have ever seen. I linger, looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured and the basket by the front and suitcase hooked to the back.
Wait. Naka-bike lang siya.
Yeah. Lupit nga no? Yung di ba kasi description, yung backpack ang laki, tapos may big suitcase pa.
Oo nga eh.
Tapos naka-bike lang siya. Di ba?
Considering pa yung dun sa Isabela chapter nung dinescribe niya kung gaano kalayo yun in the city.
Oh.
Diba?
Yung mga malupit si Zach, bro.
Oo. Fit pare, fit.
Very fit. I watch as he went down the path back to Anslim village until he is nothing more than a blip in the horizon. I cannot help the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment, I thought the electric work is not up to par. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size and my unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. How can you rectify like the switch? Kasi di ba hindi naman ganun kasimple yun? Kasi di ba yung switch may butas yun sa likod ng pader, di ba? And you know, the wirings and all that stuff. So yeah. They're rich. Money.
Mula.
My skin starts to prickle and there is the distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me and only spurs me on in my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
What? ang weird din ng fingers niya, yung sa glass. Ang ikli nung pointy finger.
Parang kung napansin mo yung mga AI art, laging sala yung fingers.
Oo nga. Well, I can't blame them. Kasi parang isa daw yun sa di ba, parang struggles ng mga artists.
Artist fingers.
Yung fingers, yung hands, tapos yung yung eyes, di ba, minsan.
Eyes, pagbantay ng eyes.
Yeah, they got their eyes good here naman, so yeah. Only the fingers, bro.
Okay.
There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband, with his face in one hand and a glass in the other.
Oy, wait lang. You do the journal, pare. Nakaka-OC.
I'm sorry. Exactly.
Yeah.
Steal. Hehehe. All good.
Nice. You
Perhaps.
can proceed.
Perhaps I can let it go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe? You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with a hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
Check natin ang branching tree. So, anong bilis natin, gago. We basically breezed through the Hannah chapter. Nasa tayo? Halfway na tayo.
Halfway na nga. So, by bukas tapos na yung Hannah chapter.
I think bukas tapos na natin.
If
we go like here, either of the two here. Ano ba yung napuntahan mo last time? Yung baba ba yung napuntahan mo or one of these?
I think baba. Kasi ko nagka-choice pa ako nun. bago mag-end.
There's also QTE here, di ba?
Oo, may QTE. I'm not sure. Hindi ko na maalala. Tagal na rin eh.
Ay, may ano. Nakalimutan ko yung sinearch ko kasi dati, hindi ba sinabi ko pa sa'yo yun? Kung paano mapupuntahan yung ibang ano. Nakalimutan ko na though.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hana, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you? If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
Flirting.
Yes, flirting.
Okay, so ano natin is to have a negative relationship. Hindi ako sure kung ano.
I think yan.
With Zachary. Let's
I
try
was
this.
talking with Zachary.
Yeah!
The photographer for Luxury Living.
Fuck you, Luke. I have no reason to tell lies. Not like I'm guilty of anything. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure.
But as Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare with just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant Negro?
Racist!
Racist man.
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
Mo gago, tiklopin ka nun. Tiklopin ka ni Zach sa walo, gago.
Yung pocket size siya.
Laking tao nun.
What are you implying?
I'm implying nothing.
Yes, you are.
I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that. But all he's looking for is his next big headline.
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning. He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, grass in the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Now, as I look at him, they're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hana.
No, I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Hangover forgotten, during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he is barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want. And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes. Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the Negro affects the both of us, however.
Look, Luke, nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous.
Bata. Pilokeno bata. What a man-child.
Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. Grand feast has been served, well, grander than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress.
Uy, puta taho.
Ano lang na-stress lang, ganyan na pagkain.
Ay, oysters pala yun, pare.
Oo,
oysters.
Ewan ko, magkamukha naman talaga sila. Yung general shape ng shell. Pero mas malaki lang yung ito, oysters.
Yung oysters, alam ko kasi oysters is more rounded.
May mga ano naman. Mga oysters naman
Anyways.
siguro ngayon. Anyway. Or baka maybe it's just the angle of the, the thing.
Siguro.
Yeah. A platter of native oysters for starters, and a branch of turbot with purple sprouting broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for me. Puro isda. Puro isda.
Seafood pare.
Yung
Seafood.
pati yung kinakain nila, di ba, Isabela, pan fried sea bass ba yun? Parang yan. Oo.
Basta sea bass.
Puro seafood, ano ba naman yan? Wala ba steak pa?
Uy.
To finish it all off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard.
Pudding.
Black tea, bad. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull of the night, I sit. In a house too big and too empty. Foreign and unwelcome. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There's no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I have faced before. There's a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. Remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled. Yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Dot. Who is that? Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, ito na pala yun.
Exactly on the 1 hour 40-minute mark, we will continue this tomorrow. Para ano pa? Para, what do you call that again?
Cliffhanger pare.
Cliffhanger, yes. Cliffhanger. Okay na to. Sugar ba to?
I think. Hindi ko pa na uminom ng green na absinthe.
Nakainom na ako absinthe, pero without this, just absinthe. Pero you know what? Maybe sugar. Nasave na natin. Just to be sure. Diba? Yes. Shit, hindi natin nakita. Wait lang, sorry. Gusto ko lang tingnan yung branching tree.
Branching tree.
Ayun. Nothing really. I'm curious kung pupunta ba tayo dito sa... No, this is a choice.
Yeah, choice.
It is a choice.
May cutie dyan sa'yo.
Anyway, sa tingin ko tapos na natin to bukas.
Tapos na yan bukas.